Hello Gun Nation, Big Johnson coming at you. Alright, this is a video that I have been talking about. I did not tell the manufacturer, I did not tell anybody what was going on. I just said that I had to send a gun out for repair. And here's the whole story. So please watch the whole video. I'm going to go over everything, all of the information that you need. I am not slamming anybody. I'm just going through what happened, how it started, the middle part, what the findings were, and then how they handled it. So that's what I'm going over. This company I actually love. Born and raised in Texas. Love to support Texas companies. And the video that I'm going to do, as you'll see by the title, is my Staccato C2 did fail. And you'll see from the title, major fail. In my eyes, it's a major fail. However, mine is a sample of one. It is not, I haven't seen it out there drastically or anything like that. And cheap guns, middle guns, expensive guns, anything can fail. Just like cheap cars, expensive cars, McLarens can shit the bed. Things can happen. I've had $2,500 rifles take a shit. So, and you can see it on my videos. I'm very honest to tell you exactly what happened, good and bad. And that's what this video is about. So, bear with me. I'm going to give you all the information. So don't start jumping on and making comments 2 minutes into the video that I'm a hater and all this other stuff. I'm just giving you my honest opinion and my example on an example of one. Alright, here's how it started. Basically my C2, I've had it for, over a year and a half. I have over 5,000 rounds through it. I shoot the shit out of it. I don't baby my guns. I carry them. I do whatever I want to with these guns. I clean them. I pretty much maintain them. I'm not the guy that cleans them every 2 seconds. However, I don't abuse my guns. I definitely keep them oiled, etc. Alright, what happened? How it all started? Probably about 2.5 months ago, I noticed I would shoot the C2 and just basically shoot it, and it would stick, the slide would stick a little out of battery, and I was like, that's weird. Most people would do a tap rack bang. Looked up at the gun, looked like it was a little back, just tapped it forward, everything was good to go. I figured, hey, I got a bullet that just wasn't seated correctly, so I just knocked it home. No big deal. So it would happen periodically, and this was my main carry gun. I've been carrying this gun for over 6 months, 7 months. I mean, y'all can go back and look. Sorry, I don't have the exact date. Anyway, so I noticed that, and I was like, that's weird. Well, that situation started happening a little more often. So, every third or fourth mag, I might have to bump it forward maybe once or twice during that, and I'm like, that's weird. And I even changed different ammos before you say that. I was shooting like 115, 124, HST, different brands and grains of ammo, 147. So I'm like, this is weird. So mentioned it to my gunsmith, said, hey, what do you think? He looked at it, checked everything, was like, I don't see anything. He tested it, no big deal. So I was like, okay. So I shot it some more, seemed okay. Well, as this progressed, it actually got worse. So, I would have to bump it, more and more. So I took it into him and I'm like, look, here's what it's doing, check it out. So he is the gunsmith, looked at it, kept it, thought he needed to adjust this, thought he needed to adjust that, looked at everything, no abnormal wear, nothing. And just like, this is weird. I can't get it, I can't duplicate it. He would go shoot a couple of mags through it, it wouldn't do it. So I'm like, okay, and he's like, are you using the same ammo? I'm like, no, I've tried different ammos. They still do it. So anyway, then it got progressively worse. I mean, I started noticing like when I would put the mag in it, it would feel weird, or when I would take the mag out of it, it would feel weird. And I started catching on, and I was like, is this heat related? Meaning like when the gun gets hot, it acts up more? What's the deal here? So anyway, I kept, having him look at it. I was looking at it. So I called Dawson, I was thinking, hey, have y'all, could it be a recoil spring? Maybe needs a new recoil spring. So I ordered a pack of recoil springs. You get 5 in a pack. These are, if you need a part number for them, I just wrote this on there so I'd know, because I've got 2 Staccatos. So there's your part number. This is the primary recoil spring 3.9 light white, and there's 5 per set. So I put a new recoil spring in it, thinking that was it. Wasn't it? Well, during all of this time period, as y'all know, I got the Acro P2. I wanted to get a plate for the Acro P2 for it to fit on. Well, per Aimpoint, the P1 and the P2 have the exact same footprint. So I ordered the Dawson Precision P1 plate for your Staccatos, so I could run the P2 on there while all this is going on. I ordered it, I put it on the gun, I put my P2 on it, and I was like, something just doesn't look right. It wasn't lining up perfectly flat, so I reached out to Dawson and I said, hey, here's what I'm seeing. It just doesn't look like it's right. Well, there's not a lot of P2s out in the wild. Y'all probably know that. And they said, yeah, we kind of noticed that, blah, blah, blah. And I said, this P1 plate's not going to work, and I just ordered it. So they said, they looked at it a couple of days, and they said, you know what, we've got a prototype one. We're going to send it to you, and you can test it out. Let us know. This was prior to them releasing them. So they sent me the updated plate, and I put it on there. The P2 fit perfectly. No problems. Put it on correctly. Witness marked it. The whole works. I was going back out to test the new Acro plate for them. The gun started doing really weird stuff, like I couldn't put the mag in it. I mean, it felt like it was binding. And then I'd take the mag out and I would rack it back and forth, and it just kind of felt weird, like it wasn't sliding correctly. Like it should be on rails, of course, because your slide is on the rails, and it felt bindy. And I was like, this is weird. It has a new recoil spring, still feels strange. What the hell's going on? So I shot it, testing it, and it would, shoot 3 or 4 or 5, and then the slide would just stick out of battery. So I'd pop it back, shoot 1 or 2, the slide would stick out of battery, pop it back. And I let the gunsmith know, and he's like, that's really strange. So I thought, okay, is it due to the weight of the Acro plate and the P2? Is there too much weight on it? But then I was like, no, everybody's been running the Acro 1s, so that couldn't be it. It weighs exactly the same as my Holosun 508T. It's 2.1 ounces. That was 2 ounces, but I thought maybe the plate was heavier. I mean, I'm thinking all of this is going through my head. I always cleaned it, always lubed it, all of that. Well, the gunsmith still couldn't duplicate it. He adjusted some things, like the grip safety, the trigger, just thinking that might be it. All of that was good. So I picked it up from the gunsmith, went directly out to the bay at Texas Gun Experience and started shooting it. I was shooting 115, 124. I brought multiple grains of ammo with me that day. I was shooting it. It was basically turning into a single shot. I mean, I shot like 3 or 4 rounds. The gun got warmed up, and then I would fire, bang, fire, bang. And I noticed when I was hitting the back, it wasn't a simple tap. I was having to hammer the back with my back of my fist. I mean, really hard. And I'm like, this shit's not right. So anyway, I went in and told him, I said, look, and he goes, so he came out there with me and he duplicated it. We tried MagTech ammo, we tried Federal, we tried all these different grains. And he's like, look, it doesn't do it with MagTech. Then I got it to do it with a MagTech. So he was like, man, I have no idea. And I said, okay, I'm calling Staccato. So I called Staccato customer service. Spoke with Tom, super nice guy. I said, here's my situation. Here's what's going on with the gun. And he goes, oh. He goes, okay. He goes, well, send it in. Let us take a look at it. And I said, do you think you know what it is? And he said, well, I might have an idea, but, I have to have the gunsmith look at it. So they sent me a code and all of that stuff, to send it in, or the little UPS prepaid, and they have the lifetime warranty on it. And like I said, I love Staccato. Born and raised Texan. They're from Texas. Everything's from Texas. Or they try to get everything from Texas. All their materials. So, and I have a P that I absolutely love. So anyway, and this is not a hate on anybody. And again, I've had Glocks fail. If you followed me for a long time, I've had Glocks fail. So don't say, oh, my $500 Glock is better than your $2,500 Staccato. A sample of one can happen with anything, okay? McLarens break, high-end cars break, stuff breaks. So I get it. Anyway, so instead of shipping it up there, I was going to Austin that week to work. So I'm like, I'll bring it by. Is that cool? He's like, yes. Drove up to their plant, called him. He came down, took the gun, blah, blah, blah. He only needed the gun and one mag. So I put it in one of my little envelope bags. Y'all have probably seen those. I said, I don't need it in the case, the Staccato case. He's like, no, don't worry about that. So anyway, put it in one of the little envelope zipper cases, dropped it off with him. I said, when do you think they'll look at it? He said, well, the gunsmith that has to QC it and everything is not in. He won't be until next week. He'll take a look at it and let you know where we go from here. I said, okay, no problem. So, and this, if you'll notice, I haven't done any videos on my C2 because all of this has been happening over about 2.5 months, something like that. So I dropped it off with him, heard back from the gunsmith. He actually called me. We spoke. I said, did you find out what's wrong with it? He said, yes. We're going to have to replace the gun. And I said, well, what is it? Is it a warped frame? And he said, well, as you're shooting it, it warms up. The front's splaying, meaning, that right into the slide. So make a long story short, the frame is warped on mine. Mine is a sample of one. It has over 5,000 rounds through it. It doesn't sit on a nightstand. I'm shooting it, carrying it, everything. That's what I've been doing with it. So anyway, they had set it all up, and I had told Tom in customer service, I said, if anything has to be replaced or whatever, I want the threaded barrel version. I guess that didn't get passed on to the gunsmith. Anyway, they pulled a new gun, assigned it to me, and that was going to be my new gun. So basically the same exact C2 that I had. So I told him, I said, well, I mentioned that I wanted to upgrade to a threaded barrel, blah, blah, blah. He said, this has already been assigned to you. So what we will do is you can pay the difference for a threaded barrel and we'll add a threaded barrel to it. However, I have to go back out of town. So, maybe he travels with the shooting team or something. I'm not sure. That's none of my business. I didn't get into that. So he was going to be out again, but he said he'll go ahead and put in a request. So I did pay upgraded for a threaded barrel. However, I was going to get a threaded barrel and the stock barrel. So this will be 2 barrels with the same one gun. So that way, if I want to, put my Threat Cadre comp on it, which I'm doing, I'll have that for the threaded barrel. And then if I want to carry it with the regular barrel, I'll have that barrel also. He was going to match both of those to the gun and switch everything over from my old one to the new one for me while it was there. So, needless to say, it went about a week or so. I got a call, or I was talking to him, following up. I shot him a email or whatever, and I said, hey, just touching base with you, see where we are you back yet? And he said, yeah, I'm back and I'm working on it. I said, okay. Anyway, then I got a call later that day and we spoke. It was all done. So they shipped out and had to ship it. It's a brand new gun, so it has a brand new part number or model, a part number or serial number. I'm sorry, not part number, serial number on my gun. So they'd have to ship it to an FFL. I have to fill out a 4473, y'all all know that, to pick it up. So he said, where do you want it sent? I said, Texas Gun Experience. So it was shipped there. I just picked it up yesterday, and I picked it up. It had the threaded barrel already in it, the regular barrel's there. They did send the 3 new mags also for my time and trouble and transfer fee, which I thought was actually very nice. Didn't need another bag. They put it back in my bag and just sent the extra stuff in a box. I don't need another pistol rug. I already have one. So anyway, got it back, filled out my 4473, paid my transfer fee, picked up the gun, brought ammo with me, made sure it was lubed. I went straight into the range to shoot it, because even if it's a threaded barrel, you always want to shoot it without your comp on it to break in the barrel, to open up the barrel. So went in and shot it. I shot 115, 124, HST. I have a video on all of those first shots. It shot great. I put over 200 rounds through it yesterday. Works perfectly. No issues, no problems, no nothing. It shot everything perfectly. I got the gun hot. I mean, it was actually hot to the touch because I was shooting it so fast. I wanted to run my carry ammo, FMJ, different grains through it. I even did, you'll see it in that video. But they sent it back. I did pay for an upgraded threaded barrel, so that way it would be a Staccato threaded barrel matched to my gun. You can buy drop-in barrels and things like that, but sometimes you still have to do adjustments on them even if it says drop-in. So I got this right here, if you can see that. And basically it's just a QC final quality check and saying, hey, it was done. They did test fire it. Now, I have a dot on it, and I sent it with the acro and the plate and everything so they could check all of that and see if there was an issue there. One thing they did find also with the acro plate and the screws that I was told to use, one of the screws was a tad longer and it was going down into the extractor. So what they had to do, and they said that was on the first gen, which mine was, the prototype, the screw was a little bit too long, so he went ahead and fixed that screw issue for me while it was there, and I was glad about that. So, did the test shot. However, when I got it and I shot it, the dot was way to the left. So I don't know how they got this group with the dot, unless that, maybe he's left eye dominant or something, I don't know. And I know dots can look different from other people. So, but that was the group that they shot supposedly with my gun. I've got all my receipts, my transfer paperwork, the invoice, it's got personal information, so I'm not going to show you that. Also, when I ordered the threaded barrel, I had to go into a portal and pay for the threaded barrel and type in the invoice number, which was my invoice, on there to make it go back to my gun. So I did pay for an upgraded threaded barrel, had to pay for the threaded barrel portion. And because of my issue, they did give me a little discount on it, being honest with you. I didn't really throw up a whole bunch of YouTube stuff and all that. I'm nobody special. I don't, I appreciate all my subscribers, but it's not like I have millions. Anyway, so the way I look at it, as of right now, mine is working fine. They did replace it like they said they would. So their warranty's great. Their customer service was awesome. The gunsmith was awesome. Their contact with me was awesome. They told me, hey, I'm going to be out for a week, so I was prepped for that. They didn't just leave me hanging in the dark. What could I ask for? And before you say anything, again, like I said, cheap guns can break, middle guns can break, high-end guns can break, just exactly like cars. There's and y'all have probably heard about it, but there's a great car manufacturer out there pumping out some vehicles, and they're having engines dropping left and right. I'm not going to say who they are, but stuff can happen. So, am I mad at Staccato? No, I'm not. Would I buy, if they came out with another model that I really wanted, would I buy it? Yes, I would. They treated me very fairly. Giving me the mags, things like that. I feel that they went above to help me out. I have had failures with Glock. I have failures with M&P. M&P sent me one mag after the barrel. This was on the M&P 1.0 full size. I had a barrel ramp that actually broke off. This was ages ago. It was a hardening issue. Ages and ages and ages ago. They replaced it. So those warranties are great if you have to use them. Inevitably, could this have been a bad thing? Yes. And here's the thing that I was thinking about. Okay, I'm bumping it forward. If a normal person would have not known to bump it forward, most people do tap, rack, bang, things like that. So I could if I would have tapped it or banged on it, sometimes it wouldn't send it home still. However, if I would have ejected the mag, probably would have sent it home. Probably, because there's nothing touching the bottom of that slide with the bullet. So if I would have dropped the mag, or an average non-gun friendly person, or that doesn't know a bunch about them, they drop the mag, it sends the slide home. Guess what's in that slide? And in that bullet, or in that barrel, there's a bullet in there. So if they would have accidentally whatever, it could have discharged. So could it have been really bad? Yes. I'm an experienced person. I don't know every single thing in the world. I don't claim to know that, but I do know the basics of that. So That didn't happen. It's fixed as far as I'm concerned right at this particular moment. I will keep y'all updated if anything else happens. But there's where we are with it now. So the next time you will see it, I've got a video where I'm shooting it, those 200 rounds like I explained. I'm going over exactly what I'm doing and exactly what grain I'm shooting, how I'm shooting. I shot it fast. I got the gun hot. I wanted to see if anything would act up, because now I've got to put some rounds through it where I feel comfortable enough to start carrying it again. But I absolutely love the gun. The C2 is a fabulous gun. Mine is a sample of 1. Okay, so just letting you know, everybody's been asking, and I told you I would update you, but I did not tell you the manufacturer or any of that until everything was fixed and everything was back. I didn't want anybody calling them or doing stupid shit. I just wanted this handled, and then I was going to share the story. So I hope you appreciate it. I'm 1000% honest with everything I do. I'll show you the good, the bad, the ugly, all that stuff, and I just wanted you to be aware. So again, will I buy another Staccato? Yes. Do I love Staccato? Yes. There you go. This is just an example of one. So I appreciate your patience. Sorry the video went a little long. I hope you watch the whole thing before you start making goofy comments, but I just want to be 100% upfront, and this is 100% upfront. So thank y'all so much. Remember, an unarmed nation's a very weak nation, so we all got to carry on.